Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Got a fight to talk about that may be a little confusing to you, but as strange as it sounds, it's a fight that might happen. Urijah Faber versus BJ Penn. Yes, I know, strange fight. Let me explain how it might happen. So as you all know, I'm sure, Urijah Faber did retire from competing, but hinted at a comeback, and I guess now it's official. He's accepted a fight from the UFC, and from what I've been reading on the forums and from the fans, BJ Penn might be a good fight. Personally, I don't agree with that. Penn in his prime, that's a whole different story, but I'm going to get into this fight nonetheless and see how these guys match up if they fight at UFC Sacramento. So let's start with Urijah Faber. Urijah Faber is a UFC Hall of Famer. He is the former WEC featherweight champ. He defended that title 5 times. Former King of the Cage bantamweight champ. 5 title defenses there also. He's an NCAA Division I wrestler. He has a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and his total mixed martial arts record is 34 wins with 10 losses. Urijah Faber is a legend of the sport. One of the all-time greats in my opinion. Extremely well-rounded, can do it all. He can strike, he can wrestle, he can grapple. He has the submissions, extremely well conditioned, great athlete, and the mental's there, extreme will to win. Faber has won 2 of his last 5 fights. His last fight he won, it was a unanimous decision against Brad Pickett. BJ Penn is another legend of the sport. He's an all-time great, considered by some to be the greatest of all time, highly praised by his peers in his prime, but has been on a downslide in his career to say the least. He's lost his last 5 fights and currently, if I'm not mistaken, holds the record in the UFC for the most consecutive losses with 7. Penn is the former lightweight and welterweight champ. He has a 5th degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He acquired that in roughly 3 years, which is unheard of. It takes about 10 usually. He won gold in 2000 at the World Jiu-Jitsu Championships, bronze in 99 and silver in 98. His overall MMA record is 16 wins with 14 losses, 2 draws. Penn is clearly out of his prime, and he's amassed a bunch of losses due to that, but his record isn't really a tell on how great he was. BJ in his prime was damn near unstoppable. He had great boxing for MMA, power in his hands, absurd takedown defense, a sick ground game. Like once Penn got you down and mounted you or took your back, it was almost guaranteed a wrap and a submission. BJ Penn was a complete monster in his prime, and it kind of sucks to see him continue to fight and drop fight after fight. But it's hard to drop that desire to compete when pretty much that's all you've known and you're a true fighter at heart. So how would BJ Penn and Urijah Faber match up today? Well, they're both 40 years old if I'm not mistaken. When Faber retired, in my opinion, he still was competing at a higher level than BJ Penn right now. I think overall in Faber's career, he's trained harder, trained smarter, and kept in better shape. If this fight went down, I would assume that it might go down at 155. I don't think Faber has competed at 155, but the older you get, it's harder to cut weight, so he just may take a fight at lightweight, who knows. BJ Penn would actually be a great fight for him at lightweight. Very, very winnable to say the least. I don't like this fight for BJ Penn at all. I think he would get absolutely dominated, and I say that with respect. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but even though they're the same age, I think it'll be a really big mismatch for Penn. I can see Faber outstriking him on the feet, beating Penn in the grappling exchanges, having a huge edge in cardio and stamina, even in strength honestly. At this point right now, I can't see how BJ Penn wins this fight. Now if we're talking in their prime, BJ Penn at his very best, without question in my opinion, Penn takes that fight. I think he would outclass Faber if they both fought in their primes. I would go far as to say that Penn would finish Faber, but that's just me. Anyway guys, if this fight went down between Urijah Faber and BJ Penn in Sacramento, present day, who do you got winning this fight and why? Do you think it's a good and fair fight or not? And what weight class would you see it going down? Thanks for watching this segment guys. Appreciate the support, the likes, the subs. Almost at like 500 subs, which is crazy to me. Thanks again, and until the next segment, take care.